Hello everybody, my name is Sirhcus and welcome back to another episode of the Sirhcus, my single player Let's Play series. I'm out gathering some flowers, some red flowers, and some pink flowers, because we're going to need the dyes as well as the actual flowers for some decorating and for building today. We're going to be continuing working on the Valentine's town that we started last episode. It's a little past Valentine's, but I still want to get something done here. So yeah, you guys have given me some pretty good ideas. I think enough to at least get this place started. One idea that I really liked was a tunnel of love, which got suggested by, I think, a couple of people. Not something that I thought of, but that should work pretty nicely. So that's one thing we're going to focus on today. Another thing is going to be basically just a garden-y type area in here. With maybe some statues. I was gonna try and work on that, and I forgot. I want to try and make a Cupid statue, and I have no idea how I'm gonna do it or how it's gonna look. But that's something I'd like to do. Something small, but you know, is obviously a naked baby with a bow and arrow, if we can do that. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of work here already, and I feel like there's gonna be a lot of work yet to do to get this fully realized. We might actually spend a couple more episodes here, or like this episode and another one, just because the main problem is resources. Honestly, I don't have a lot of resources, especially if we want to build out of the concrete and clay. I'm gonna need more dyes and clay. Actually, I probably have enough clay, but I'm gonna need lots of concrete, and which means I need sand and gravel, and I might need lots more flowers because I'd like to get lots of the red and pink flowers if we do a garden area. But anyways, I've been doing lots of terraforming here, which is also a big pain. I really wish villagers would sell diamond shovels, but they don't. So right now we're stuck with iron shovels that I buy from the villagers. I bought tons of them, and I basically just use them up and let them break and then use another one. Eventually, once we get an experience farm going, I'm going to find diamonds if I don't have a couple already, and we're gonna make a couple of diamond shovels and put mending on them. Right now, mending isn't gonna help that much just because I don't have a good source of experience to repair it. Anyways, so yes, I've been doing some terraforming here. I flattened out this area a little bit more. I raised up some areas. I lowered some areas. We already had this nice hill, which I think will work well for the tunnel of love, which is gonna be a little boat ride. Basically, it's going to be a little river that winds through this hill, kind of pops out in certain areas. We'll check that out, but I had to do some terraforming here to kind of bring this back so that we had a good place for an entrance, and I still need to dig this down a bit more, but I just wanted to kind of work out where the tunnels were going. So we're going to go through this area and then out here, and we'll probably try and decorate this eventually. And then goes through a short little tunnel again. And then this spot really caught my eye. I think we'll put a waterfall kind of flowing down into there and just make a nice little area to look at, some nice scenery. And then it'll go through here. There's not a lot that's going to be underground. There probably should be more, but honestly, I think that's going to make it easier for building, because underground, like, we need to make the walls interesting, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that. But then it goes underground again for a little bit longer time, all the way through the hill, and then ends up right back at the start. So here's a nice long dark place for the couples that go in the tunnel to hold hands and such, fraternize. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna start on today. I'm gonna work on terraforming this a little bit more, gotta dig it all down. And we're gonna have the entrances be hearts, because obviously tunnel of love, we gotta have hearts everywhere. I did make up a few heart shapes of different sizes, so I think that's probably the smallest heart that you can do, and still make it look nice, I think. Because I think for like the top, you need kind of a zigzag, and so you need those 3 blocks, and then you need blocks on the side. So 5 by 5 is about the smallest I could work out. And then we have a 7 by 7 and a 9 by 9. And that's actually the heart that is down here. That's this heart, just half the size. So we'll be able to use those as templates for putting hearts everywhere. Let me grab some blocks here. I'm sorry, Wolf, but there's sheep nearby, and I can't have you roaming around. You pose too much of a threat. These pink sheep are sacred. We must keep them alive. All right, so I have some red blocks, some red concrete now. So let's just work out the basic shape for this. And I think if we put that there, is that gonna work? Is that gonna be high enough? Let's get on top of here. So we'll do a heart shape for the entrance here. And we'll do the 5x5, which is like this. Maybe I'll pop it out a bit more so I don't have to dig a bunch out. Do that. And then it's like that. That. Okay, so I think I'm going to have to lower this down a bit for this to work. Let's get our shovel. There we go. That. Let's just uncover that or something. So that, is that the 5x5? That looks wrong. But maybe not, because it's, let's see. It's the block in the middle, then it's 1, 2, and then it's 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, okay, so this goes down one more. So this might work, because we're gonna put water in the middle of this. And that's gonna kind of determine the bottom of our river. So we'll dig this down a little bit more. And we got a bunch of caves underneath there. So that goes like that, and then like that. Okay, so that should work. So the bottom of our tunnel, of our little river here is gonna be kind of like this. I think that should work. And then, I don't know if I'll continue that the whole way. I don't have any water, but the water level will be like right here. Like that will be the water level. So you go through here, it'll be a nice, it'll basically be this height, except a little bit bigger. I might try and keep the heart shape throughout most of it. Kind of the heart shape cross section. Well, I got all the tunnels shaped. It kind of keeps the heart shape all the way through. A little bit hard to tell when you're actually inside, but when you're at one of the entrances, you can really see it. And I've been working on like an actual floor. So I think I'm going to utilize the new terracotta blocks in the floor. I think it shouldn't look too bad since we do have, we're going to have water on top of it. So it's going to be a little bit subtle, a little bit more subdued. Just had to grab another water bucket, and then we can come in and fill this all in, see what it looks like. So yeah, you won't be able to see all this detail that the terracotta blocks offer, which I think will kind of make this look a little bit better. I mean, it doesn't look bad with it. It definitely doesn't. I like the new terracotta blocks, but I think if you use it too much, you can run into some issues. So let's fill this all in and then do that. And that should fill in most of it. Do that, and I'll fill in the rest. There we go. So actually that does subdue it a lot. Maybe a little too much. But you can kind of get some texture. It makes the bottom a little bit more interesting. I might have to work in some of those terracotta blocks into the walls as well. But I need to go get some blocks. I ran out of gravel and sand. So I'm going to go back to a desert and get a bunch of sand, and then I'll have to go through some extreme hills somewhere, get a bunch of gravel so I can make some more concrete. Because I think that's all the concrete I have left. And I'm going to need a lot more red as well as some pink for this. I decided to put some pink concrete on the bottom instead of the terracotta, since you really can't tell the difference. And that terracotta was just more annoying than it was worth. Trying to get the orientation of it right and to look well, especially when I'm working with like two different elevations. So pink concrete, a lot simpler. And this stuff, man, this concrete is kind of annoying to get just because you have to go and get a bunch of sand and then you have to go and get a bunch of gravel, which is something that I always run out of. You know, there's no like gravel fields. I guess you could go at the bottom of the ocean, But it's mostly just finding small patches like here. I should probably dig that up, but I'm not going to because I don't feel like it. And then you have to craft it, and then you have to get it wet and turn it to concrete. Although I realized I can skip that step because I'm going to be filling this whole thing with water anyways. So this is all going to turn to concrete. I've been kind of wasting my time and wasting my pick here for a while. So we can just place down the sand. That's going to make this a lot easier. And then once we fill it with water, everything's going to turn to the concrete and it'll be nice and finished looking. Oh yeah, this works much nicer than mining all this stuff up beforehand. There is going to be some of this red stuff in the corners that won't get hit, but that's fine. Dang it. This water texture that I put in here, it's kind of hard to see when it's flowing. Like, it's not quite as easy as the vanilla texture. And so sometimes it's easy to miss some spots. But yeah, so we just go through, do the bottom there, grab some more and do the top up here. And that will get everything except for these little blocks in the corner, which I can go in afterwards and just do something like that. Get real quick. Not a problem. Well, it's getting there. We're in the final stretch. This is taking a lot longer than I thought. Just gathering all these resources, all the red clay and smelting it up, all the gravel and sand that I've had to get, and then, you know, turn it all into concrete and such. And then digging this whole thing out has taken a while, but we're almost there. I'm just finishing up the roof on this last part, and I've decided what I want to do with the walls as well. So let's just, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. We'll go take a look over here. So I got this one, I think, all done. I think this is what we're going to do. I'll have to replace the torches later on. Maybe some lights in the ceiling or something, or maybe behind the walls, put like pink glass and then a light behind it. I'm not sure what to use. Like, glowstone probably would be the best. I think sea lanterns would be too blue to put in here. And yeah, that's basically all that we have. Pumpkins would look weird, orange. I think glowstone would probably be the best. The yellow wouldn't clash as much as like the blue would. But yeah, here's what we got. It's pretty simple. And instead of turning all this, I've kind of given up on turning the concrete powder into concrete before using it. I figured as long as like you're not putting it around something that can't get wet, it's a lot easier to just place the powder down and then just go and, you know, get it wet afterwards. Seems like it's a lot easier to do and uses much less of your pick. So you just have to go through here and get it all wet. Whoop, a little bit longer there. There we go. See? Much easier. Don't need to go through and place it down and pick it back up. Just to place it down again. And it's done. It's finished. The Tunnel of Love is installed in Valentine's Town. Our first, well, I guess our second edition. The first one being the heart and the portal. So we can take a little boat ride through here. Oh, it's so romantic. I would like to make it darker in here, but I also don't want mobs to spawn, because that would be bad. So still obviously have a lot of work to do around the area. I think, yeah, we'll probably spend another episode out here. Just try and do as much as we can. Just one more episode. We'll see what we get done. Try and do some garden stuff, and I'll work on doing a Cupid statue. If you guys have designs, I haven't actually like searched for anything. Maybe people have already done it before, and I can just steal their designs. Because why reinvent the wheel, right? So I might just do that, but it'd be nice to have a little statue up there. You know, I'm thinking just have walkways go over to there and then up on the hill, and up here have some nice gardeny areas, some paths going through it. That'd be pretty neat. Might have to go get a bunch of flowers for that, because I've used a lot of the red flowers I had for red dye. I went and grabbed all the beets that I had, because I remember those make red dye, and you know, I'm not going to be using those for decorating. But even with that, I still had to use up quite a few flowers for the red dye. Get out of here. So let's grab some pink sheep We got 4 of them here. Now we gotta wait for their cooldown so that they like weed again. There we go. Let's put it in our offhand. The offhand is very nice. I mean, if I had leashes, I do have some leads somewhere. But if you don't have leads, putting food in your offhand is great because then you can go around and you can break blocks or fight monsters or something, and they will never be disinterested, which is really great. So let's get these guys in here. There we go. Now, can I push the boat? No. I can't push the boat, can I? Let's make another one. Maybe I can push it with another boat. I'm a little worried about that. I can't... Whoops, why did I do that? I also can't break the boat with both of them in there. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I can't push them. Dang it, that's going to be kind of an issue. I tried, like I did some tests, or I put a boat into their enclosure just to see if I could pick up 2 of them. And when I tried to break it, I killed one of the pink sheep. Oh, there it is. Which is not good, obviously. Although there are tons of pink sheep out there. I was out when I was getting gravel in the extreme hills. I found just like at least 20 more pink sheep. They're everywhere. It's truly ridiculous. All right, so let's get these guys interested again, and we'll just put these guys in a boat. I'll put some more in off camera, but yeah, we'll have some little pairs. Give these guys something to do. Instead of just sitting in a pen. It'd be nice to kind of sprinkle them around throughout Valentine's Town. These guys will be our Valentine's Town inhabitants. Oh, I should have tried to keep them on the side. There we go. Until we got over here. All right, into the boat. Into the boat. Come on. Into the boat. There we go. One more. And this way. No, come this way. There we go. Sweet. So we got 2 of them. We got 2 boats of couples. Very nice, very sweet. So that is going to be it for today. I hope you have enjoyed another episode of The Sirhcus. We'll see you next time. Goodbye, peoples.